Hey everybody, this is the recap update for this week in Washington, D.C.
What were the hearings that you participated in this week?
We had a hearing in the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee. I am the subcommittee chairman on economic development and federal buildings. So believe it or not, the FBI has come in. They want to build a new building. They want to spend another $1.5 billion. So we had a hearing on that. I had a lot of questions, as you can imagine, about the expenditure that they want to make and what they do in all these buildings all around the country. So that was one of them. We also had one in oversight, where I am a member, and we had the Federal Drug Administrator come in. So that's the FDA or the Food and Drug Administration. And I had questions for him about medical sovereignty, your ability to choose what you do or you don't do with your own body regarding medications. But he also had questions about the FDA's use of your federal tax dollars to censor people online that have differing opinions. So those were two of the hearings.
Why did Congress gather for a joint session this week?
We joined for a joint session for the Prime Minister of Japan. And one of I think the two biggest things I got out of it was his commitment to our shared friendship and views, similar views about the world. And more importantly, I think most importantly, about his view about America being the beacon of freedom. And I think with some concern, at least I sensed in his comments, that would go away, or that was being diminished. And he cited some things like censorship in America and so on and so forth. So it's not just you who are concerned, it's many internationally that are concerned as well, but it's great to see him.
Talk to us about the bill to reform FISA.
Okay, so the biggest thing we did this week was the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. And so this was passed in 1978. It was updated after 9/11, and it's supposed to be used to surveil foreigners that have nefarious, that want to do things to the United States that are not in our best interest, want to attack us, want to make attacks in the United States, what have you. But unfortunately, it's been abused by the intelligence agencies and the law enforcement agencies, including agencies like the FBI. And when I say abused, I'll quantify that for you. The last year, they admitted to 278,000 illegal searches. So they call them queries, but a query is a fancy name for search of your personal effects. And if you know the Constitution, the Fourth Amendment says that your rights to not be searched without due process, and due process means a cause, right? They have to have some reason to search you, and a warrant. So they have to go to a judge and say, we have some reason to suspect someone's done something wrong here. These are the facts. This is the evidence, and we're going to get a warrant to violate your constitutional rights because we have to uphold the law. And they've done that 278,000 times last year, and years before millions of times, and no one's been held accountable. So this was a reauthorization of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. Originally, it was for 5 years. We stopped it because it was just so bad. We procedurally stopped that bill from moving. We got them to cut down the authorization to 2 years and have an amendment on requiring a warrant. So any other time that you're going to be searched, the courts have to issue a warrant. And we wanted some other things in there, but we settled on that. Unfortunately, the warrant provision did not pass. It was an amendment. It actually ended up being tied. So every person could say they broke the tie in the legislature, or could have broken the tie. Everybody's accountable in that circumstance. And so apparently half of my colleagues, exactly half, don't believe that the federal government should have a warrant to spy on you. And that went to the bigger bill. Of course, that amendment wasn't adopted. So I voted no on the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act because I don't think that we should be spying on Americans. I think you should require a warrant. Even with the warrant, the other thing that I wanted, which was not in the bill as an amendment, was a prohibition on these intelligence agencies and law enforcement agencies to buy third-party data and use it to spy on Americans, where they would otherwise need a warrant. What's third-party data? If you shop on Amazon, if you go to Google or Facebook, they're all collecting your information. Agencies like the FBI, the National Security Agency, and others are buying all that data. Otherwise, they couldn't buy it. They would need a warrant. And people say, well, I give that data to Google, or I give that data to Amazon. The difference is that yes, you give it to them, and the federal government's getting it, but Amazon and Facebook can't arrest you at the end of a gun and throw you in jail, but the federal government can. And so I voted against that. It is a 2-year authorization, which is much better. That just moves it into the next presidency. We'll get another bite at the apple, assuming the Senate passes it. But I think it was a terrible turn of events here in Congress, and that was the wrong thing to do. I voted no, but it passed anyhow. So that's the recap for the week. God bless you. I hope you're well and safe, and I'll talk to you the next time we're in session.